Uh, Ready, set, yammer. Hello, salutations and greetings. My name is Margie. I'm Heyoka. Empath, I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things today. I feel pretty good, I must say. I learned something, a little something. And maybe you know this already, but if not, I'm going to teach you a little something. I learned about lentricular clouds today. Lentricular clouds, those pily clouds, those stackable ones. And they happen, I live right, well, not right would be about 25 miles closer to the mountain. What? Blood of Christ Mountains. What is it in Espanol? It's that in Espanol. So when the wind comes off that, it's like it allows. We're seeing in frequency. We're seeing in frequency. We're seeing like one wind gust and then another wind gust coming on and creating the moisture in there. The world is just such a miraculous place. I've been able to sleep because all this energy and whatnot. And so I've been watching the volcano in the Canary Islands, so I've been learning about the Canary Islands. I remember that history. History has just always been bullshit to me. It's always been like, I've questioned everything my whole entire life. Ma, would you say that'd be true? I've questioned everything because the way that I've seen things in my life, they're different than most people. So, but the thing of it is the world is changing so much so fast and opening up to such a broad spectrum that I might even actually come in handy to some folks one day. Because I'm one of those people, Mom and I were talking about it today, because things fall through the cracks, and in a world where people have to have explanations on how things are and people are, and set them with definitions and all these stuff. I put in a boundary. I was like, Mom, I think I made a boundary. I think I established a boundary, Ma. Because my brother texted last night, want to chat? Or can you chat? And it was like 7:10. And most of the time, I'm like, I might go lay down for an hour in the course of the day to decompress or meditate or reset, do whatever. Hour and a half maybe, if I'm lucky. Especially because I haven't been sleeping a lot. But I'm constantly moving. From the time I wake up until I lay down, about 7:30 in the evening. And he asked if he wanted to chat, and I said, honestly, I'm a lot better in the morning. Because I'm fresher and more alert, and what that boils down to is I'm less inclined to not cry if we talk in the morning, is what it breaks down. He doesn't like when anybody cries. Who does? Weird people. I don't like it either, but I console him. He's just like, I don't know what to do. Some people don't know how to handle other people's emotions. I can be the same way. Like when something happens to Mom or the critters, oh my gosh, my freaking adrenal glands get sucked up into my it sucks. It taxes. Stress does a lot of terrible things to the human body. So I have learned to be comfortable in a lot of very uncomfortable situations. My buddy is going through it right now. He's going through a very uncomfortable situation, and I think when that happens, sometimes we got to remember where we were, who we were, and who we are now, so that we can become the best version of ourselves. And he's good. I keep sending him positive thoughts and pictures and stuff like that. I have a lot of one-sided conversations. I like to send people pictures because I let them know I'm thinking about them. Plus, they're cool pictures, too. Anyway, what was I talking about before my little train of thought derailed there? So I said, honestly, I'm better in the morning. He said, fair. And, he said, I'll call you. Yeah, but I don't like, we haven't talked, it just wasn't, I had to think about stuff, too. I had to prep, you know. But we had a nice conversation. It was very pleasant. I like to, I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. Sometimes, I think one of my greatest life lessons that I can learn is to yield and just allow, because I know the power that I have in myself. I know what I've been through, but sometimes you got to keep your hand out of it. Just yield and allow things to be. And, I do enjoy, it was cool though, because I was like, I miss you. He's funny. He's witty. He's a smart guy. Jerry, your son. And when people are upset, well, we're getting there. And some people, their personalities are so big. When they're not around, there's a deficit, a huge deficit. So that's why, because I know I've just had to yield, because I know the astrology too. And it's not just me. So many people are going through the same things. Maybe different storylines, But life is constant change, and depending on where your placements are, there's always something happening, either something's starting or ending, or sometimes ending to start, It's just a constant. It's all also too much sometimes. For a lot of people. And sometimes people get, I feel like right now a lot of people are just sad, and they're just so tired of what they've been doing. If you just do something little every single day to make tomorrow a different planet as you awake or whatever, I was thinking, I had an epiphany the other day. I felt pretty good about it. It put things into perspective. Because I can't just be lazy. I can. But that's the thing. Those are character defects that I have within myself. So I'm prone to it. So I try not, I compensate to not be lazy. So I allow my recharge time in the afternoon, my meditate state time, whatnot, my decompression time. But other than that, if I'm like lounging I'm always like, there's go clean this, go do that. And that's the thing is, I fucking hate chores. I hate mundane tasks. I do not like it. There are all the other things I'd rather do than the mundane daily chat that have to be done. But I was telling Mom today, though, that is like, as much as I can't stand it, and I always feel like my life is just chores. That's why it's like nice to go to the coffee shop and stuff, get away, stuff like that. Although it was nice to stay home today. Anyway, as much as I like to do that and stuff, it's like, I have to be careful not to be resentful, to feel like I'm just doing chores all the time, and that my life is constantly chores. And so, I have my ideas that she need to go walk around, and plans on what I like to do, but still my astrology, let her go walk around. She wants to go stretch her legs, is I'm still kind of in a holding pattern. Although I was looking at all my art supplies today on the table, I have art supplies everywhere. Mom always says you go you're always so calm when you do art, and that's just because it's a meditate state. People that are doing art, you're freaking channeling. You're in the zone. You know what's funny is there's like I always looked at like a blank canvas. You know, people always see the potential in a canvas. Oh, it could be this or it could be that, and I'm like, actually, there's only one picture intended for this canvas. However, it's not known until the agreeer or the vessel puts it on here. Now, hopefully that'll be me. Mom and I used to do art Sundays. We got away from that a little bit over the last few years anyway, so this one I feel a fall vibe coming on. God, I got almost 50,000 pictures I could freaking take. I could paint. See, I can be lazy, but sometimes it's like, oh. But there's a lot of things that need to be done, but I think that, I know that they'll be remedied once we get our forever home, and I can just, because a lot of my time is spent just taking out the dogs. This is one that we did on Art Sundays. Woo. Oh, that's a pissy girl. You mad? That was fun. I like doing this stuff. Well, I'm one of those that it's like, okay, stop, it's done. Because I do add more of this and I do more of that, and then I wreck it, huh, Mom? I just trashed the thing. Watch out, girl. Did Tango go back outside? All right, I'm gonna close the door. Watch out, baby girl. Come on. No, move. Watch out. Good girl. I moved the futon away to around. I flipped it so Mom won't sleep in a freaking little dip today. But anyway, what else was I going to talk about? I don't even know what's really going on in the world. I haven't really participated in it in much. Mom and I had a really couple nice conversations today. It was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And it was really good to speak with Jerry. I baffle him sometimes. Oh, another thing that it was like, because I was one of those, it was like, I started to talk about this earlier, because they used to test me for everything. I think that, I don't know, I was always tested for anything and psychoanalyzed and stuff like that. And, I'm almost losing it. Ugh. Oh yeah, when I was in junior high at CVI, and I had a speech impediment too, and they tested me for hearing and stuff like that, because I talk funny, so they thought maybe I wasn't hearing proper, because I had a speech impediment, and it's just that I was wired different, and some people are like, not your neurotypical, and I never was neurotypical, but they never could figure out where I belonged, so they just always put me in like the remedial class and stuff, and then I'd act out and get in trouble and clown around and stuff like that, because I'd be bored as shit. But that's when I know that they determined that I was autistic, but I misunderstood. I really did. I misunderstood. I don't know if I mishooked, because I remember coming home and going, I'm artistic. They said, because they tested me, and that's what they came up with. I'm artistic. But it was autistic. Autistic. And I was like, I kept getting the words mixed up. And so, but that never, like, went across Jerry's radar. When that was going on, he was living with Greg and stuff, He was already trying to have his life separate from us. So, I was telling, when we were talking today, I was like, Jerry, I said, you like people, you know how they're going to act every time. Every time you know how they're probably going to say that. You're probably going to have the same conversations you just like saying, because he finds safety and security in that. And I don't, sometimes I don't even know how I'm going to act. So, and I told him, though, I said, Jerry's has frustrating, is like my outburst or whatever, is frustrating that anybody that has ever gotten where they've gotten to the point where they just don't like me anymore, what they gotta understand is they get little tastes. I am in here all the time. And sometimes just basic life is just scary. And you said it earlier today that I don't like change. And I was like, and I was like, the world doesn't care. I've had an idea of how I wanted my life to be, and I busted my ass to make it that way. And there's a different course of action for me. And I finally believe that we are where we're supposed to be. I mean, the story, it's coming up on our anniversary. I'm going to tell the whole, hi Nathan, if you're still here, the whole story on, coming here from Oregon. The whole thing, how God has always worked in my life, and how I've recognized it, and Mom and I have exchanged gratitude and just acknowledging when it happens. Every time I try to acknowledge how God, Mom, check this out. This happened today. Or I saw this, because God lets me see beautiful things. And I choose to have a higher power God, because that is my anchor. Because I've lived life without Him and just running on my ego. And that's when I had the house. I had the job. I had all. And I still was so unhappy. Because I wasn't where my heart frequency was supposed to be. I was living from my self-will, and that is all egoic. And when people do that, there's so many consequences that happen, because God and Satan congruently want to get you on, task. Well, I think Satan wants to keep knocking you off, but it's a constant, basic tug of war. You're going to live from ego, you're going to live from spirit. You're going to live from ego, you're going to live from spirit. You're going to keep it balanced. I try, man. That's why I stopped drinking again. The 3 years ago, 2007, whatever it was. I went on after being sober for 14 years. I was thinking about somebody else. I would have 20 if I wouldn't have scouted, as Terry B would say, Bruckner would say. That in itself is an amazing story. Terry Bruckner in the big meeting in the sky. I mean, it's just, I'll tell it real quick. I used to hang out with a guy named Eric Schreiber in Northern California for years. We met when we were 15. We palled around. Guys are a lot, what? No. Not that I know of, God forbid. So many people are dropping turnovers high right now. I gotta be careful. Anyway. So we got married That was kind of weird because that is weird. We liked the same girl and then he married her. Anyway, retrograde season. I'm thinking about stuff I haven't thought about in a long time because I've been being present. I've been trying to be present in the moment.
I know, and it brings all this.
So, okay, but then I brought up Terry Bruckner. Okay, so Eric Schreiber and his stepdad, he had two sisters. And an older, he was in the middle. He was a middle kid, like me, and a younger. And the younger, her dad owned a bar in Sacramento in Rancho Cordova called Jerry's Tumbleweed Inn. It was a biker bar.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so, I went in there one time and they actually kicked me out because they didn't like my kind. I don't know what kind. I don't know what specific. I'm like, listen, man, I fall into a lot of kind categories that people don't fucking like. So if you can narrow that down for me, I'd really appreciate it. The kind, I don't know. I think it was lesbian. I think it was gay kind. That's that. I don't know. But anyway, I'm just like, dude, that's weird. So I got kicked out of Jerry's Tumbleweed Inn, and it's Eric's stepdad, right? So, anyway, go fast forward about a few years.
Okay.
All right. That was probably back in 95, 94, something like that. And then I enlist in the Air Force, go off to the Air Force, start going to meetings, befriend this old crotchety dude named Terry B. Bruckner, man. He and I start talking. Or actually, no, what happened was his mother died. And I went to the funeral. And when I pulled up, I saw this guy who had long white beard. And I was like, oh, it's Santa Claus. And I looked at the freaking license plate of the truck that he was standing in front of. And it said Tumbleweed on it. Terry Bruckner was Eric's stepdad, Jerry. They were brothers. They were brothers. And I ended up going to his mother's funeral in fucking Omaha after he kicked me out of his bar years later. I mean, this shit, I can't make this stuff up. My whole life is a serious. And if people weren't so constrained by living the same year over and over, like, some stuff is cool, But, like, now, I remember when they were posting this stuff the first time around, but now it's like people are reliving, like, because it's all the memory stuff, So, but it's just like, but they're not posting the memories that they're making now. No, it's like they stopped. And I noticed a lot of these couples, they stop, like when a relationship first starts, like the couple is everywhere. They're, oh, we love each other, holidays, everything, Then as years go on, they hardly even mention the spouse, It's like, what are you, and then before you know, you find out they split up. Life is just a blip, man. But so much cool stuff. I got a lot of stories like that. So much cool stuff happens, But the thing of it is God said in order for you to get the gifts that whatever those are, gifts are lessons as far as I'm concerned. Even though there's some hard ones that I don't want to learn. We sign up for this for our spirits to check out life, and that's what we're supposed to do, and we're supposed to create heaven on earth and be the practitioners of this planet, and we all have played a role in complacency in doing so, me included. So it was cool. I listened to a talk earlier today. It was on I think it was I can't pronounce. She's Baraka. I can't. She gave herself. People are naming themselves. They give themselves new names. Well, kind of like how I'm Standing Turtle, but I don't know if I'd ever go by Standing Turtle all the time. It's kind of a. I wouldn't even call it a persona. It's just kind of a. Something I identify with. Little character I identify with. Standing Turtle. because I always have backpacks, and kind of looks like a turtle shell. Yeah. So. Anyway, what else? What was I talking about before I went off on my tangent? I guess that's it. I guess when the thoughts stop flowing, my mouth should stop. I crack Ma up over. She's cracking up. Should we watch some Sheldon next, Ma? Eat some mint chocolate chip ice cream right out of the freaking carton?
Yeah, that sounds
Do I know how to have a good time or what, Ma? This girl loves her beagle. It just fits weird. I don't like how it fits. But I wear it anyway. See, I do things that make me uncomfortable all the time. Otherwise, I would be the person that was going around making everything to be comfortable to me. And that's not what life is about to me. So, I think that's about all I got. I'll see. I feel like there's something else I was going to talk about. Like, oh, all right, I need to talk about that. But if it's been close to 30 minutes, I'll just stop running my mouth. I don't know how long it's been going. Oh, it says live. 27 minutes and 2 seconds. I'd stand here and think for a couple minutes. Maybe something will occur to me. Oh, I could talk about patterns. That's what I was doing. Because that's why that's why I was bringing up the clouds. Is because the layered clouds they're a gust of wind. And then it creates a thin layer of cloud. And then another gust of wind. And it creates another layer. And so you get these stackable clouds, right? Off these huge mountain ranges, right? That's how, see, and I've always been a pattern person. I'm a pattern person. And everything is patterns. I bet that's kind of a stretch, but everybody behaves the same way, and we're pretty predictable around the astrology too, like the way that we could act. Well, yeah, anybody could act that way, but where's their heart frequency? Are they going to act from a egoic place, or are they going to act from a place, a spirit where hey, we could be cool to everybody? Oftentimes, I gotta be careful. I act from an egoic place. I could be a jerk, man. Oh my gosh. Sometimes the things I say, I just can't even, some days I can't even stand myself, so I'm real quiet. That rule, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Yeah. Maybe I should live by that more some days. No, I'm not really that bad. I can be moody though. But I try not to let my mood because I practiced for years and years because it was instilled a while ago that, when I quit smoking cigarettes, because I was like, and people were like, and I had a life mentor that said, you don't get to be, it was your choice to smoke and it's your choice not to smoke. You don't get to be a jerk either way. Yeah, like you don't get to be mad, angry because of choices you make. And I'm like, what? Okay. So I started okay, let me see if I can live that way. I can live that way. So, but the thing of it is when you're in so much pain, it's hard. Hey, what's up, homie? It's hard not. That's one of my greatest struggles is just the physical pain. It's just not I gotta do this because I hurt, all that stuff. But that makes, the good news is, the positive note is that there's so many positive things that people can do. I've had ideas for days for natural therapies. And a lot of them have to do with just, hydrotherapy, water therapy, pressure, heat, Wait till we figure out the congruence between electricity and water, too. Hey, Jessica. Oh, man. I got a drop right in my eye. When you take a drink and, it plops down? I got it right in my eye. That was a direct hit. That's funny. A guy called me Miss the other day.
Call you this?
Every time somebody calls me Miss, well, not every time.
What do you do? Say thank you?
I said, I'm not Miss, I'm a direct hit. He was just getting a refill. I'm like, I'll get his too, because he was waiting on me, and I would run my mouth sometimes and take a while. So I'm like, I'll just get it. I'll refill. What do you want? He's like, thanks again, Miss. I'm like, I'm not a Miss, I'm a direct hit. I was in the Air Force. I put my marksman ribbon, I took it off my rack and put it on my leather jacket. So anybody, recognize. Now I just shoot with my camera. I don't like shooting things. I mean, I would go out and target practice and stuff like that just to stay sharp. Mr. Iskey still goes out on the firing range every year. He's been shooting his whole life. He's like 67, So it's like I'm full spectrum on the whole gun thing. I know too many idiots have them. Too many idiots that don't have freaking trigger discipline. There's too many idiots. It's just I don't need to get into that, but that's for another day, huh, Ma? But me and Ma are gonna watch some Sheldon and eat some mint chocolate chip ice cream. I'm gonna get up. Hopefully I'll get to go to sleep tonight. That would be nice. I haven't got to freaking do any of my night shift stuff, is what I call. Because I believe our spirit is just traveling higher dimensions, and it's trying to sort out the same lessons that we're trying to sort out in the 3D plane. We're just in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, starts to get crumbly after a while, but in the space in between. Anyway, that's about all I got for now. Hope you all have a rad evening. Thanks for hanging out. What about ma'am? No. I'm glad I saw that. No. A guy in was it O'Reilly's parts store, when I went to get I wanted the little screwdriver that screws, the valve stems in. But he just gave me these little rubber things that fit over the top of it to slow the leak, I guess. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, it didn't work, but that's another story. But he called me ma'am. And I go, don't ma'am me, mister! I say that stuff all the time. I say, don't ma'am me, mister. You can call me Marge. That's what I said. And then when I left, he's like, have a good day, Marge. And I was like, you too. But anyway, I haven't read the Warrior's Prayer in a while, so in the event that this video passes the frequency of anyone that needs to hear this, then this is for you. The Warrior's Prayer. I never turned on my production light. That was obnoxious. Okay. It's for reading now. The Warrior's Prayer. I am what I am, and having faith. Maybe I should put it up here where I can read it. There. And having faith in the beauty within me, I develop trust. In softness, I have strength. In silence, I walk with the gods. In peace, I understand myself and the world. In conflict, I walk away. In detachment, I am free. In respecting all living things, I respect myself. In dedication, I honor the courage within me. In eternity, I have compassion for the nature of all things. In love, I unconditionally accept the evolution of others. In freedom, I have power. In my individuality, I express the God force within me. In service, I give of what I have become. I am what I am. Eternal, immortal, universal, and infinite. And so be it. Have a rad evening. Peace.